Hey, I'm Greg Mann, real estate broker. Welcome back to the GMANN Show. Exciting show coming your way. I've been doing real estate for 22 years. I remember when I first got started, it was a terrifying few weeks. I've got a great guest today, Sabrina Hashimi. I've also got Sonia Hashimi. Both of you got real estate licenses, but Sabrina, you've just started your path in the career. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Tell me this, why did you want to get into real estate?
So my whole family has always been in the business and I've grown up with it. So I've always been a fan of it and I've always wanted to follow in the footsteps of my family.
Fantastic.
So I followed my mom, I followed my uncles, my aunts, and got my license, and now I'm in the same field and it feels really good. And I'm really excited.
That's really great. Now, so from the moment you decided to get into real estate, you've got to go through a process. You have to do the classes, the school, the state exam. Mm-hmm. You're super smart, so you probably aced it. But what was that like going through that?
I think it's definitely difficult because there's not like a training guide that tells you this is this step, this step, this step, but it's kind of something that you have to go through on your own. So I had to figure out the process a little bit on my own, but you know, you have to get your education, you have to pass the state test, you have to pay your MLS fees. You know, it's a lot of things that I never thought about before, or you know, they don't teach you. So I figured those things out on my own.
Hey, fantastic.
Yeah.
So if you was going to give a person that's a couple of steps behind you one bit of advice, what would that be?
I would definitely say be prepared, know your information, study really hard, and you need to be a go-getter because everything's on you. You're the only person you can depend on. So, yeah.
And it really is. And you've obviously do mortgages, but you got your real estate license as well. So, you know, I know when I got my license, it seemed a little bit easier to get into the business in terms of getting your license in. How have you seen Sabrina develop through that whole process?
I think it's been an amazing journey for her. I know it's as she said, you know, the whole family's in the business, and so just continuing that legacy. My you know, her grandfather was as a broker, you know, back in the 80s. So it's continuation of that. I think she's been doing amazing. What she's doing, all the right steps to go towards success, such as open houses. She has invited me to come to, so primarily I'm a lender. I do real estate. I don't do real estate. I do it if I buy a house or something. But so I went into, you know, the brokerage and we had a lunch and learn and we went through the steps of how to prepare a buyer to, you know, as your first buyer, what you need, you know, what is important to educate your buyers on in order to take your first, you know, have your first closing.
First closing, yeah. So one thing I get a lot from agents, you know, they get the license, so they go to a brokerage and then they kind of, oh, what do I do? Mm-hmm. I think it's important that you've joined a brokerage that's got a younger crew that's basically more along the lines of your age, mm-hmm. because there's a big difference between me doing real estate and you doing real estate. For instance, you're probably using your cell phone a lot, you're using a lot of technology. How's that training or mentorship working with you right now with the office that you've joined?
Well, I think when you're looking at brokerages to start at, it's really important to see if they connect with you or if you feel a good feeling when you're there. Mm-hmm. So I definitely shopped around at a lot of different places and I stopped where I felt comfortable and awesome. I felt like I had a younger team and people that I could relate to. Yeah. And definitely having a mentor has been very helpful. My mentor is like 4 years older than me, and it's just been nice to have someone, you know, that I can relate to that's also in the field. And I've been learning a lot from him, and yeah.
Hey, that's really good. So as you see your career developing, do you want to be a listing agent, or do you want to work with buyers, or is it going to be like a 50-50 split, or are you still, you know, thinking about that?
I think I want to go more towards buyers because it's really, I don't know, it's really fun to me to get to connect to people and get to see what they're looking for in a home and find their perfect match. So I think that's definitely where I'd like to go.
I like that thought. I first started out with buyers, but I quickly developed wanting to do listings because I enjoyed working with buyers, but I felt that I didn't like driving quite so much. And that's one of the drawbacks that people don't see. They just see, real estate agents doing well, et cetera, et cetera. They don't realize how much effort's put into showing a house, for instance. I mean, I bet you can cast your mind back to when you would show homes when you was just a real estate agent. Yes. There's a lot of work involved, isn't there? It's not just a case I'm turning up and opening the front door.
You have to do your homework ahead of time. And what I used to like to do is go preview the home before I took the buyers, so I know what they like. If I could walk into a home that the kitchen is not, doesn't have an island, or the living room doesn't have an open feel to it, I wouldn't take them to those specific homes. So I would go look at maybe 10 homes, so take them to 5 at the end maybe, and that way they appreciate the fact that you went in and did your homework behind the scene, and make sure you have the route, that you don't go to 5 different cities in a day. So if you can route it properly, that takes a lot less time. And make sure you're aware of your buyers. Are they thirsty? Are they hungry? Is it too hot? Make sure they're comfortable. Yeah. You have to have that bonding, with them. It goes a long way to connect with them as people first.
So with your open houses, again, people think, oh, it's just an open house. There's a lot of work going into that open house behind the scenes. What are you doing to get prepared for an open house?
So I just had an open house a couple days ago on Friday, and it was so much more work than I had expected, because I feel like they make it look glamorous and they make it look like it's something easy, but actually when you're in the Florida sun, you're outside, you're putting signs all around the property, you're putting balloons, you're getting refreshments, food for the guests in the open house, everything you have to do to prepare for it, it's so much more than I had expected.
It really is, and people don't realize that just planning the signs that you put up will make a big difference as to whether people turn up, because if you miss one important corner, or someone steals that sign, which happens a lot, you may not get that traffic. But I tell you what, a lot of people do too, you've got to pre-plan the route you want to bring people to the house too, because not always is it the most attractive drive, and there may be 2 routes. So I take my hat off to all your planning. Have you done any brokers opens yet?
I have not yet, but I'm willing and open to.
Yeah, so that's a cool thing. I know you do a lot of brokers opens, or used to do brokers opens, and a brokers open, for the people that don't understand what we're talking about, is where you basically invite real estate agents to see the house, and you have food there and they come and critique it, etc. And if they're working with a buyer, you never know, they could bring them back that afternoon to show the house. I'm super intrigued with the way the real estate agent performs. Are you using social media?
That is something I'm definitely using. As a younger agent in the industry, I feel like that is something that we have over more experience and seasoned agents, because maybe they don't have as much experience in that.
Yeah.
So definitely my skills in social media has made marketing so much easier and branding myself a lot easier.
Yeah, because it's second nature to you, isn't it? Whereas, me doing social media, it's like
you're doing it anyways.
Greek. Yeah, it's crazy. But so where do you see yourself in the next, year, 2 years, 3 years? I mean, do you see yourself just continue as a single agent? Have you got a desire to get a team? Have you thought through that whole process?
I think for now, definitely my first year of real estate, which is this year, 2023, my goal is to get some more transactions under my belt, some experience under my belt, and going forward, seeing where I feel the best, where I excel at, if it's buyers, if it's with sellers. I think I'm just going to see how I feel and what I perform best at.
I love that thought. When you market yourself in the mortgage business, it's a very similar process. You're doing social media as well. What sort of stuff are you putting out into the social media scene?
So with my social media, I want to make sure I bring in the realtors. That's my target as well as buyers. I want to make sure that I support, different products I have to make things easier for the realtor to connect with me, to make sure the buyer is well qualified. So I cater to my realtors and what's going on, what's the latest news is in the mortgage industry.
Awesome. So Sabrina, I want to thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Sonia, again, thanks very much. I hope you have the most massive success you possibly can. I know you'll be super diligent with everything you do. You're very detailed. If somebody wants to get hold of you now to use your services, what's the best phone number for them to contact you on?
You can reach me at 951-970-9248.
And do you have a business Facebook?
I do, and I also have an Instagram, and you can reach me at sold by Sabrina H.
Hey, that's great. Thank you so much. And Sonia, how do people get hold of you to get the mortgage in place before Sabrina sells them a home?
Yes, my phone number is 407-403-8658, and my website is loanswithsonia.com.
And I'm Greg Mann, broker owner of Greater Orlando Realty. If you want to get hold of me, it's 407-774-9858. You can go to my rental website, which is gorent123.com. Thanks for watching the G-MANN Show. We'll be right back.
Managing your investment property is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Sign up at gorent123.com. 2. Let Greater Orlando Realty handle everything for you when it comes to managing your property. From qualifying tenants to collecting rent, processing maintenance requests, and everything in between. 3. Sit back, relax, and count all that money you're making. Earning passive income on your property is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Greater Orlando Realty. Visit gorent123.com today.
Hey, welcome back to the G-MANN Show. Here with Laura Collins from First International Title. Laura, tell me what you do, tell me how you do it, and tell me how people get hold of you.
Thank you. I am Laura Collins with First International Title. My phone number is 314-265-9000. And I always appreciate a text to get to know me. I am one of the sales reps for the downtown office of First International Title. We do have 37 offices, and I represent our downtown office and Waterford Lakes office. One of the things about me with my clients are realtors and loan officers mostly, and anybody that's selling their house, they get to choose their title company. And so that's why a lot of people depend on their realtors to choose their title company, and that's why they're my clients. I have worked at Disney for 20 years, and anybody that works with me is going to have that kind of customer service that Disney has instilled in me. I love to help, I love to be available, and I want to make sure that they are growing their business, and it is about them.
So you'll do open houses, you'll go to offices, you'll help agents build their business, all with a cheerful smile. How do people get hold of you?
You can, again, get a hold of me, 314-265-9000.
Hey, I'm Greg Mann, real estate broker. Welcome back to the G-MANN Show. I'm here with Sonia in the Mortgage Minute. Hello, Sonia, how you doing?
Hi, good, thanks, how are you?
I wanted to talk about VA loans today because I get a lot of people asking about that. Very few agents seem to be up to speed with a VA loan. What are you seeing from your end with the VA loans?
VA loans are honestly one of my favorite loans because it's helping people out that served our country. So we have to appreciate them and thank them back. So, and as a part of that, there's no down payment at all. It's a 100% loan, which is amazing. There's no mortgage insurance on a VA loan. If a borrower is 10% or more disabled, there's no upfront fees at all.
Wow.
So it's an amazing loan. And once they get into the home, there's tax benefits as well.
Oh, so it's a win-win for them.
It's a win-win for
One
them.
quick question before we move on to something else. I see a lot of, when I do see an offer written on a house that I've got listed, for instance, as a VA loan, the agent will write $5,000 deposit, $10,000 deposit. That's unnecessary, isn't it?
It really is. It really is because, you know, that money can go towards their closing. Mm-hmm. So as much as it's not necessary because of down payment, it could help with the closing, and that will go towards their closing. So although they don't have a down payment, this is a 100% loan, there's always closing costs.
Perfect, good, that's a good point. Now, next extension of the VA loan, I guess, is the Hometown Hero program.
Yes.
And that's pretty exciting. I'm hearing that phrase a lot. A lot of agents are talking about it. A lot of mortgage people are talking about it. Tell me about that, please.
It's such a great opportunity for so many of our heroes to be able to get into a home. And what it consists of is it's up to $25,000 that will go towards their closing costs and down payment and closing costs. So go towards both, up to $25,000. And so it's for our veterans, active military, it's for teachers, it's for medical, people in the medical field. So there's a strict line, a list of jobs that it's qualified for. So we have to go through that to make sure it's part of that. And the rules, anytime you use a down payment assistance program from the government, they have their strict guidelines, and as they should, because they want to make sure everybody follows, because there's a mass amount of people going in and they need to have strict guidelines. So yes, if you fit it, we'll check it, make sure that person is qualified for that employment. And it's an amazing program. It's easy to qualify for. But I do want to say, as much of an amazing product that is, if somebody that is not in that category, say they're in the medical field, but they don't check mark that exact position that's part of that, we do have other down payment assistance programs that we can put them in. But it's always a great idea to start with that.
So just to get this in my mind, if I'm doing a VA loan through the Hometown Heroes program, I don't need down payment.
Yes.
The $25,000 can go to my closing costs.
Yes.
So I can pretty much probably get into a house with zero down.
You can.
Zero out of pocket.
Possibly, yes.
Doesn't get much better than that, does it?
No, it's amazing.
And that's an amazing way to thank all these great people that serve the country and give us our freedom. And if they want to use that loan, how do they get hold of you?
They can call me on my cell. I'm literally picking up my phone, all day long. My phone number is 407-403-8658, and my website is loanswithsonia.com. So Greg, you've been gracious enough to have me on your show regularly, but I have a few questions for you, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely, yeah. There you go.
So I'm thinking about buying an investment property, and I'll be becoming a landlord. Do you have any guidance for me?
Yes, there's a lot of things you want to look at. First of all, do you want to go condo, townhouse, single family home? All three have a slightly different edge to them. Single family home, you've probably got an HOA, you've probably got a lot of maintenance that you've got to do yourself. Townhomes, very similar, although there's more maintenance included with your HOA payment. And then condos, a little bit more different in terms of you get some maintenance, but you get restrictions from the condo board as to who you can rent to, and etc. So you need to look at that. Secondly, what you need to look at is return on investment. Because great, you buy a home for $400,000, how much does it rent for? Well, I don't know. It's a landlord. Average landlord's not done enough research to work that out. So whatever investment cap you're looking for is what I need to help you with and say, this is your best option. If you're a first-time landlord, it's a scary thought because you want to make money out of your property and you don't know quite what to do. So the step you're taking is contacting a property manager. That's perfect.
Okay, that's great. And so what would I do if I'm a buyer, if as a renter, what would I look for as to deal with what kind of home?
Well, right now, you're going to have to look quickly and you're going to have to act quickly because properties are on the market, they're off the market so quickly. I'll give you an example. Last week we had a townhouse on the south side of town. Literally the first day I had 15 people wanting to do application. So what we do, our applications are online, so as soon as a person makes an application, it stops everybody else because otherwise I have 10, 15 people paying money to do their application. So be diligent as a tenant, go to as many websites as you can. A great one to look at is GoRent123.com. You can look at the properties that I have there, but you can also search other properties too, and then you can reach back to us and we can assist you with finding that perfect home.
I have seen you do some great work to make sure the sellers are ready to rent and the buyers are, the right fit for that property. I've seen that before, and also I'm hearing some different things with unincorporated, with the Orange County for the landlords. What is that about?
March 1st, some rules and regulations came into place. A lot of people are not aware of this. A landlord or a person who's becoming a landlord and hasn't really been in this business before may get caught out. Unincorporated Orange County. There's many, many homes in unincorporated Orange County. There's a lot of disclosures that you have to now give out to the potential tenant. For instance, any fees that you may be charging them, a cleaning fee, a rekey fee, has to be disclosed before they sign the lease. It has to be very transparent. So the first step you as a landlord, a potential landlord should do is contact somebody such as me. Greater Orlando Realty, 407-774-9858 is our office number. You can go to our website, which is GoRent123.com. We will guide you through every step as a landlord. If you're looking to rent a home, we will guide you through every step as a potential tenant and get you into the right home in a very timely fashion.
So as a seller, you don't want to take that risk on your own because there are certain guidelines that you may not know to follow.
Yes, like anything else, if you've got yourself a Ferrari and you think, oh, it's not it's misfiring, let me go and tinker around with it. You know nothing about it, so you're going to do more damage than you would do if you'd call the Ferrari guy. Even though you think you might have saved yourself a few dollars up front, in the big picture, you've cost yourself more money. So whether it's myself or another property management company, do your research, reach out to them, see what their services are, see what their costs are, and make a good choice for yourself.
Yes, that's great. Thank you for the info.
Well, I'm Greg Mann from Greater Orlando Realty. This is the GMANN Show. We'll wrap this one up and we'll see you next time.